Hello, everyone. Welcome to IGN's exclusive reveal of Viktor, the new next League of Legends champion. I'm Anthony Gallegos. With me is Nick Cullen.
Hey, everyone.
And so here's Viktor in action. Well, let's go back a little bit. So we'll start by going over some of Viktor's powers. The first here that you're seeing, this is his ultimate. He basically can summon this storm cloud.
It's called Chaos Storm, right?
Chaos Storm, yeah. So this is it's a mobile area of effect spell. And basically what it does is see, it instantly keeps moving, but then anywhere Viktor clicks or he shoots a spell, it starts moving in the direction of that.
And it looks like it moves faster the closer it is to Viktor.
Yeah, that's correct. So if it's close to Viktor, he can have it out on the periphery going really slow, or he can get close to it and you'll see it rapidly speed up. Effectively, if he wants to cast it out in front of him, he could run alongside it and have like this kind of whirlwind of death following him.
So it looks a lot like, it looks like it could function a lot like, say, Fiddlesticks' ult, which is just like an AoE where he can move around while it's on, except that it looks like Viktor has a little more control. I don't know if it's going to deal quite as much damage as Fiddlesticks. It doesn't look like it will.
No, I don't think so.
But it's going to provide, it looks like, a lot more utility. You could use it on the other side of a wall while you remain on the safer side. It looks like there's a lot of function you can have there.
Yeah, Viktor's a mage, if you couldn't tell.
Okay.
I mean, he's a... And the way he was described to me by the Riot people was he's a sustained damage mage. He's not like he can build him like a glass cannon, but sustained damage is really his role. Cool. So next up here, we get to see Viktor's, that's his base magic missile. It's called Power Transfer. And you can shoot it at a farther range, as you saw there with the range. But, if you shoot it at max range, it might, from what I understand, it won't bounce back and give you a shield, this is Viktor because he's a mid-range mage. You want to be able to shoot them and have it bounce back, which gives him a damage shield.
So that damage shield is a portion of the damage dealt, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
So it's a little bit different to, say, Vladimir, who gets like a flat amount healed regardless of how much damage he deals. This is actually adjusted by how much magic resistance your opponent has.
Yeah, so this is basically just, like I said, he's a sustained damage mage. So he needs to get in close, and he needs to be able to take it on the chin a little bit. So, and they suggested, if you're going to build him out, you can build him like a straight AP mage if you want, but you should make him a little more tanky.
Okay.
Because a lot of his stuff is fairly close range.
So something like Rod of Ages would be a good
yeah,
name.
Exactly. And then next we have Viktor's next ability. Here we go. So this is Viktor's Trap. This is his E ability, his W ability. So basically what it does is he throws down what's called a graviton field, and anybody within it gets slowed. If they stay in it long enough, they get completely stunned.
So it actually builds stacks I think it's every half second that you're in that AoE, and once it reaches 3 stacks, you get a 1.5 second stun.
Exactly. So you see her moving, bam.
Ouch.
She's stopped. She's stunned. So one of the ways that they described that to me was if you take that and you pair it with this, you could basically create like a stun field on one side and trap them with that.
Wow,
and so basically they have to choose whether they're going to run and get stunned or take damage.
And then if they get stunned, they can do both.
Exactly. So, that's how he can become particularly nasty. The final and probably coolest visual effect of Viktor's abilities is his Death Ray, which you see here. So it has that, first off, you select the area of effect.
Nice.
You select anywhere in that area of effect for it. It hits instantly at the starting point and then does a skill shot from there.
So it looks like Rumble's ult in terms of like how it's used. You click on a spot and then you drag to determine the direction it's in.
Correct.
It doesn't actually have to come from Viktor. It can go pretty much anywhere. You can start anywhere within that circle and go in a straight line anywhere from that point.
Correct, and they said it actually works best at close range because the closer you are, it's much harder for people to dodge it because that first hit is always instant.
Okay.
So if you put it right on someone, you can instant hit them, whereas you see it kind of drags across the line really slow, so they could potentially run. And the coolest thing, if we go back and just look at all of Viktor's powers, is you have to remember other characters give like a team buff, that sort of thing. Viktor's special ability is that he starts with an item. And
so this is his passive.
This is passive. So he starts with an item. It's called Evolving Technology. It's a hex core that gives him additional stats, and it can be upgraded in the store. You can purchase a one-time upgrade. It cannot be sold back. And basically, the purchasable upgrade augments one of his 3 abilities. The Q ability that you saw there bounces back, and it gives him a 30% or so run speed increase. So he becomes obviously he gets a damage shield, and on top of that, he has the ability to run. Great way to get away from a fight. This one, I'm spacing on what it's called. That's great.
Gravity field?
This graviton field, yeah. It basically greatly decreases the amount of time it takes for it to turn into a stun. So, he could potentially throw that down and you're within it for half the time and you get stunned, depending on how it levels up. And it should be noted that the Hex Core, depending on how you upgrade it, also changes the stats that it upgrades.
Okay.
So the most AP-focused one is actually the next one, the Death Ray. That's the most AP-focused one. So it changes the Death Ray, it makes it do much more damage, and it does the damage over time, which you can actually see right there. She's taking damage over time as well. So that's how you can augment it. You basically augment it to the playstyles that you like.
So you could really be a support character with that AoE slow and stun. You could be a DPS caster with the Death Ray, or you can be sort of a tanky DPS with that shield absorb and get it in and out, maybe a little bit more assassin style. So this is him in action.
Yes.
Now I just want you to rewind it a little bit because something important just happened there. While he's casting that Death Ray, you'll see he's running while that's casting.
Yeah.
So he can actually run. He can cast that on the fly. There's no cast time. It's purely instant, and it continues to channel while he's moving. That's a big deal.
Right there, he shot Shaco with the thing to give him a damage shield, shot the Death Ray, and then put down the shield to stun Shaco, and then hits him again with another magic missile to give himself a shield again. So he's popping that pretty fast. We'll go back just a second.
That is now I just want to point out that he moved his ultimate right around the corner and helped get that kill. That was very cool.
Yeah. And as you see, he's constantly
Mm-hmm.
popping that damage shield,
Yeah. And it looks like it's absorbing a lot of damage.
He is. Yeah, I mean, even right here, these people are chasing him. Bam, he throws down the shield, stuns two of them. Great
There's a whole
team
bunch
support.
of minions, too.
Exactly, with that Death Ray. Now he's shooting, bouncing back a shield to himself.
There's a lot of crowd control on that team.
Yes. Yes. I mean, obviously, he makes good crowd control.
Yeah.
And when this team comes in and thinks they're going to initiate, he throws down that thing and stuns them all. Can really screw a team up.
But it looks like because that AoE slow has a fairly long cooldown, if he misses that, he's pretty much without defense. His shield will take a little bit. Will absorb a little bit, but other than that, he's pretty much a free kill.
Which is why you kind of need to build him a little bit more tanky.
Yeah.
To be able to take it on the chin a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even here we see, here's some Dominion gameplay with him. I could see how he could be really good at Dominion because he's a great harassment person. He can slow them constantly. He can do that damage shield to let them live.
Dive right under the towers. Now that was a cool move. I want you to rewind it just a little bit there.
Yeah, sure.
He casts ahead of I think that's the Nine-Tailed Fox. Casts ahead of her and gets her while she's running. I don't know if he actually hits her several times there. It's kind of tough to tell.
With the Death Ray?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he casts it ahead of her so it burns her, and then it's probably doing damage over time depending on how he augmented.
It was just cool because it meant that even if you missed that initial burst,
exactly,
it
can
somewhere
catch up
along
to
the
her.
line. Yeah. And he didn't have to stop chasing her after that. So if that completely whiffed and he missed it completely, he could chase her up, maybe hit her with the graviton field, and catch her.
Bam! That's instant. He slowed him with the graviton field, hit him with the laser, and then now finishes him off with his ultimate.
Now watch this ultimate. It goes
yeah,
around
see how fast it's
corner.
following? It's following the direction that he's following.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it effectively makes him
that's
dangerous when he's chasing after you.
Yeah, it basically turns into fiddlesticks, but without a teleport and a little more mobility.
Yeah, I mean, he's a really cool champion. The fact that you can augment his abilities, change him into these various things, you see that with the team member who does good damage, I mean, he can become, pretty formidable.
Yeah, I don't know how much damage he'll be able to do on his own, but it looks like he'll be able to fit into virtually any caster role he feels like, which is something I primarily play support characters, so I think I'll actually be able to appreciate that, where I'll have the flexibility to fit my team almost on the fly.
Yeah, he's a really cool looking champion.
I like him.
We cannot wait to play him.
Yeah.
For more on League of Legends, and as well as future champion updates, keep it locked to IGN.com.